right now on Higher Journeys with Alexis Brooks.
We got to get into a little bit of the opposite side of, not the opposite side, but the other side of this coin. Who is aware of the plasma, the invisible universe, and the plasma as being intelligent and harnessing it perhaps for nefarious purposes? I want to get into black goo. And by the way, there's some things that we can't say in this venue. You know that. So we're going to go to the after show in a bit and really get into some of the more controversial stuff. You guys, I'll just tell you, when Jay and I were talking on the phone earlier, I brought up this idea of perhaps, if you've heard the term black goo, hasn't really been in the like fringe podcasting space for a while, but a few years ago, a lot of people were talking about black goo as perhaps something that may be, I don't know, would it be considered a derivative of plasma, but being used in a nefarious way or being used to enhance the super soldiers that are alleged to exist in the secret space program? Could it be used? I've heard it mentioned it has the ability to clone. All of these things intimate that these are both very intelligent, uh, you know, powerful mediums. So anyway, I don't want to go off on a tangent there, but I do want to ask you, I want to ask your opinion. Who do you think is aware of what you and I are having a conversation about today? Who is aware that this plasma is intelligent? Could it be like CERN as an example? I'm just going to go there. Could it be CERN? You know, talking about portals and what they may be bringing in through these portals. Highly contentious, I understand, but what are your thoughts on that? I want to go there a little bit.
If you really want to see what I'm talking about when I say plasma beings, go to YouTube and type in tether space shuttle tether experiment and look at the video, and you'll see that the space shuttle had put out a electric wire that was like 9 miles of wire into space, and it broke off and started floating away from the space shuttle. And as it broke off and started floating away, all these spheres of light began gathering around it like they were curious about it. And then this report came out in February 24th. It said that these spheres show signs of sentience and intelligence and curiosity and even predator-like behavior. And so NASA knows about it. And I would guess that I know that most of the high-level experimentation that goes on in secret, particularly in the Navy, is plasma-based. At the end of World War II, the Navy had these big, huge rotors on their ships, and they all had like holes in them. And they were stainless steel, so they couldn't figure out why the gigantic propellers, which were really expensive, were getting these little tiny holes all through them, ruining them. And so they hired a bunch of people to look into this, scientists, and they came away and they said, what's going on is that the rotor is spinning and is creating a plasma field from the spinning inside the salt water, and that's creating little tiny tornadoes, which tornadoes, by the way, are plasma, which are piercing through the metal. And then they realized that, oh my God, if we can spin something, we can create electricity for free. And that put the Navy off into looking into free energy, which is plasma generation. That's all it is. It's just how do you generate plasma out of seawater? And there's Stanley Meyer invented a car that went all the way across the United States, 1 gallon of seawater. What was he doing? He was creating plasma from the seawater, just like the propellers were getting destroyed by the plasma that was being generated by the spinning metal. And so the Navy knows about it. For sure, the Navy's running the secret space program, so they know about it. And a lot of occultists know about it. And a lot of people know that the CIA spent a lot of money and time looking into the occult world.
Yes.
So I'm going to guess that the intelligence agencies know what I'm talking about here. And, you know, other than that, than a few other scientists, that's it. I don't think anybody really knows about it. And I don't know if they even, they aren't even policing it, because the people that are the police on Idea Police don't know about it. So they don't know that it's good or bad or what it is. They don't understand what it is. And now it's getting out. And And I don't know if I think what you said at the beginning of the show about 2026 being some kind of pivotal year, I think this is the year that all the secrets get out.
Yeah.
I do.
We've been saying that for the last few years, but I don't know. So, well, I'll say this about 2026. If you follow any sort of numerological format, we are in a 1 year, which is, sort of basically meaning new beginnings. I mean, it means
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot more than that, but
Yeah.
we're starting a new cycle. So
Yeah.
I want to talk, oh my God, there's so many things. I want to talk about orbs. I want to talk about, as I was prepping for the show, Jay, and also obviously reminded me of when I was prepping to do the series for you. I'm just reminded of all the correlations of things that we have seen recently, not the least of which are what I would call an uptick in orb sightings, of
Yes, sir.
course, having to do with the drones, but it continues. Could it be that let's see, could it be that the plasma that's all around us anyway is somehow seeping through and is becoming even more not just visible to us, but but what it has the capability of doing, particularly creating portals? Could that be happening more now? Is the veil thinning, as they say, the proverbial veil?
Yeah.
Is it?
So my two books that I wrote about the cross of Henday, what we basically we're saying is that the Earth is the solar system goes up and so you have the mass of the galaxy, the plane of the galaxy. The Earth goes up and down like that through the plane of the galaxy. The solar system does. It goes up and down, and every time it gets behind that rocky plane of the galaxy, all of the plasma from the center of the galaxy is blocked. And so
Mhm.
we become stupefied. And the sun goes yellow at that point too. And now we're rising out from behind that rocky plate of the galaxy. And for the first time in 6,000 years, the light of the center of the galaxy, which is the largest plasma generator in our neighborhood, is now striking the Earth. And it's started in about 1998 and has been continuing. That's when the sun went from yellow to white. Which is an indication of us getting more and more emanations from the center of the galaxy, which is making us wiser, which is activating the plasma, the living plasma that's all around us. And I made this prediction 5 years ago that we're going to start seeing more and more of these plasma beings. They're going to become more and more obvious. And, this okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, the whole atmosphere around the Earth is filled with millions and millions of these plasma beings that we can't see. All right. And so what happened after World War II when we started lighting off nuclear weapons in the South Pacific, doing tests? What happened?
We
You
saw a
know
lot of
that
you.
you know that nuclear weapons are actually plasma? Do you know that Oppenheimer was a plasma physicist?
Oppenheimer, yeah. Hmm.
He was a plasma physicist. He studied plasma. They killed millions of plasma beings with those tests. Okay. This sent a ripple through the entire universe, right? My God, there's somebody on a planet that's murdering us,
Well, I'm
killing
gonna
us.
I need to stop you. Clarify when you say plasma beings. I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit more, but be specific when are we talking about, we're talking about sentient, intelligent entities. Are we talking about non-human intelligence in the
Yeah,
way okay.
yeah,
So
they're
this bring
non-biological intelligence, intelligence that as Temple points out in his book, it's almost as if living systems are emulating the plasma systems, right? In other words, the plasma has sheaths. So plasma beings can come in any form, shape. They can be any size. They can be pinprick size. They can be the size of the sun. All right. The sun is a plasma being. The Egyptians said that the sun was alive. It was a sentient being, and I believe it is. And
mm,
so plasma beings are here. I'll give you an example. One day I was out, sunny day, late afternoon. I looked up to the sky and I saw something in the sky above me, maybe 20, 30 feet above me. And I thought it was a clear plastic bag floating in the wind because I could see right through it. It was translucent. But then I realized that there was no wind. So I took it like a closer look at it. and it had the shape of a manta ray. It was clear, could see right through it, could see the clouds through its body, but I could also see this kind of faintly translucent being that was about 3 feet wide and had wings, and it was floating through the air doing circles. And I was watching, I was really fascinated. And then another one came in and they both started doing circles around each other. And then another one came in. And now we had 3 of them, and they were just kind of floating around and dancing with each other. And then they just kind of floated away off into the desert until I couldn't see them anymore. And they are plasma beings. Trevor Constable invented, he was a radar guy in the military, and he kept seeing objects on the radar that he would run outside to see what they were on the boat, and they weren't in the sky. And he'd come back and look at the radar, and there they were. And he was like, what is this? So he invented a camera, an infrared camera, and started taking pictures of the sky. And he cut many, many pictures. He called them sky critters. They are the fish shaped, serpent shaped. I'm certain that dragons, the myths of dragons, are these
Wow.
these plasma beings. They're shaped like marine objects. And so that makes me say the statement that what's going on here is that we humans and animals are sitting at the bottom, very bottom of a plasma ocean that's all around us, and it's filled with millions and millions of plasma beings, all different kinds. Most don't care about us at all. We just, they don't care, just like fish don't care, right? But some take an interest in us. Not all are benevolent either.